The Nintendo Wii. With its non-traditional motion controls, strong first-party lineup, and its relatively low cost, it became the best-selling Nintendo console of all time. I also believe that part of its success was due to the Wii Shop channel. Here you can buy and download classic games from past consoles, games that would normally cost an arm and a leg for a physical copy, import games that never made it stateside, as well as brand new games developed just for WiiWare. It was awesome! But sadly, the Wii Shop will be closing its digital doors come January 2019, and with its closure, many games that were exclusive to the shop will be unavailable to obtain by conventional methods. And although the deadline for downloads is in 2019, you won't even be able to add more points to your account after March of 2018, so time is running out to buy these games. Over the next few weeks, I'll be highlighting my favorite WiiWare exclusives that you should check out before they're gone forever. Let's take a look at You, Me, and the Cubes. You, Me, and the Cubes is a puzzle game that is not very well known, and it's easy to see how it can get lost in the shuffle. Both the concept and visuals are extremely minimal, but it offers a unique take on puzzlers, as well as a good challenge. The object of the game is to place a specific number of people, or in this game they are referred to as phallos, onto a cube that is floating in space within a given time limit. You throw 2 people at a time onto the cube, which will cause it to move and tilt. If the cube becomes unbalanced, it will cause the phallos to fall off, resulting in a penalty of 5 seconds off the clock. If you put the correct number of phallos onto the cube, you enter the judging phase, where each phallos must hold their balance for 3 seconds in order to pass the goal. If you run out of time, you fail the level. There isn't a definitive story or anything, but I think you can interpret the game however you'd like. The way I see it is that these cubes are a sort of purgatory, and the recently departed are sent here for their final judgment. If they pass, they turn into these birds and fly up to heaven in the sky. And those who fail the final judgment, well, they get sent down below to a fiery pit of unpleasantness. But that's just one man's interpretation. It's fairly simple to grasp the initial idea, but the further you progress in the levels, the more conditions that must be met. More cubes are put into play, each needing at least 1 phallos on them, and the total number of phallos goes higher and higher, making it a literal balancing act. The cube structures become more elaborate, having different effects to them that can either aid you or be a detriment to passing the goal. Some cubes will freeze all phallos, which gives you a big advantage since the cubes will not tilt for a brief amount of time. But other cubes may have a bouncy surface, which sends your phallos flying to their deaths. There are even enemy phallos, which will walk around the cubes and try and knock yours off. These enemies can be killed by throwing a new phallos at them after they have attacked. Part of the challenge is that the solution to the cube is always changing since the phallos are moving around, altering the cube's balance. Things can easily fall apart with one wrong throw. There were times where I'd panic and overcompensate by throwing more onto one side, and that ends up doing even more harm. Phallos start dropping like flies, and in result, so does the timer, which can hit 0 so quick it'll make your head spin. The game is about balance when it comes to keeping your phallos on the cube, but also a balance of being patient with your throws, while moving fast enough to complete the goal before time expires. You, Me, and the Cubes utilizes motion controls, and it does it in the right way. And in the wrong way. You use the Wii Remote to point and aim where you want to throw your phallos, and I find this to be extremely intuitive. But then one of the biggest knocks to the Wii control scheme comes into play. Yes, the Wii Remote waggle. Before you can launch your phallos, you must vigorously shake the Wii Remote to charge and reload. I'd much preferred if it had a button hold to reload, and having waggle serves no purpose other than to implement so-called motion controls. It's really the only complaint I have with the game. There are 6 worlds with 6 levels, and each level has 6 puzzles. Wait a second. 6? 6? 6? The number of the beast? I knew Satan was trying to steal these poor little phallos. Up until now, we've only been discussing a single player mode, but the true fun comes when you play 2 players. The general idea is the same, throwing phallos onto the floating cube, and now each player throws 1 phallos at a time. Teamwork is critical, and you must coordinate with your partner because trying to do it solo will not work. The game will even judge you on your performance after you beat a level on how effectively you work as an individual and as a team. You'll find out quickly if you can work well with someone or if you'll be at each other's throats. The presentation is straightforward as can be in every aspect of the game. Visually, it's not impressive, but it works, since it meshes with the minimal nature of the gameplay. I do like the look of the phallos, and call me sadistic, but I can't help but laugh when these little guys fall from the cube and scream. The soundtrack is ambient tunes, and it gives you a feeling of floating through space. It isn't memorable in the slightest, but again it suits the overall feeling of the game, and I wouldn't ask for anything more than a cohesive presentation. Yumi and the Cubes was only ever released on the Wii Shop, and it's unlikely that it'll ever see a home anywhere else nearly 10 years later. If you enjoy puzzle games and games that use teamwork, then I'd recommend buying this one before it's too late. Are there any games for the Wii Shop that you'd suggest buying before it closes? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time, and remember, it's all fun and games. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked that video, why not check out my review of the new Bubsy game? And if you like It's All Fun and Games, make sure to subscribe. Thanks again.